Patterson. We are at the 13th annual St. Louis Prototype Modelers Meet. I'm doing an outdoor photo shoot. We're going to talk about this table saw. That's absolutely magnificent. This is the best hobby in the world.
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat starts now.
Catch the What's Neat podcast every week and full episodes of What's Neat every month at the Model Railroad Hobbyist YouTube page.
Hi, I'm George Zelios from Fine Scale Miniatures, and you are watching What's Neat This Week with Ken Patterson.
Hi, Richard.
Yay, look, Steve Mantia's here. Hi, Steve. How are you?
There they are.
All right. So, this is like $290, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. No notes.
Can you believe
no notes.
We're 9 shows away after this show from being 300.
We're going to talk about that. Ready?
9 shows away.
Are you ready? Give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week in Model Railroading Show is made possible by viewers like you and is proudly supported by Model Railroader Magazine, helping enthusiasts become better modelers for more than 90 years. To learn more, visit trains.com. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com.
Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. KR Models, we dare to build. Check out their website at krmodels.net. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast.
This is the What's Neat This Week, show number 290 for September 5th, 2024. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, and the October show is complete. Lots of layout construction on that show, as I do recall, and the November one is due in 10 days.
Nice. We're counting down.
10 days. 10 days. Lots more how-to construction stuff. A lot of broken up how-to segments. Here, sitting off to my side here, I've got Mike Buddy. Hey, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
Sitting all the way on the other side over here, Richard, I have Chris Graf.
How you doing?
A very good modeler that we can't wait to hear more about.
Thank you.
Sitting right next to Chris, I've got James Regier.
Hey.
My favorite John Deere modeler right now.
Yeah.
Yes. He's very ahead of himself, isn't he?
I know, right? And who's that voice, that friendly voice next to me? Joshua Barton.
What's up,
everybody? What is this?
It's a peace
What is that?
sign. It's peace.
Okay.
Peace, love to everyone, because we're playing with train.
So we got a lot of really cool stuff to talk about. We got some beautiful models on the table. It was nice to not have to shoot a show last week.
It sure was.
Which was that 5-day period of time when I get stuff done around here, and I've been wanting now for many, many months to get on the project of the spray booth. What is a spray booth? For those that don't know, that's what we use to airbrush in, and it sucks the fumes or blows the fumes through a filter system to catch the particles and then sucks the air outside. So your wife doesn't say, oh my God, you're stinking up the bedroom or the house or just whatever.
Yep.
Right? So I built this spray booth that I'm currently using. I know, I'm sorry, Josh. And I built that when I lived in Kirkwood. So that was 1988-ish. And part of it's hot melt glued together, which is amazing that it still holds.
Yeah.
But there's been an 800 cubic feet per minute motor attached to the back of the spray booth. When it was originally built, you get those from Grainger. It's a squirrel cage blower, about 4-inch wide squirrel cage, and it sucks 800 cubic feet of air out, which is just the right amount for airbrushing and painting. I mean, it just works. When we used to use a lot of pouring to make buildings, we used resins, and that gave off gas as the resins were curing. So we actually had a kitchen ventilator on the other side of the room attached to a window, where we had a very large 12-foot countertop space with leveling tables on it when we were really into designing those buildings on the Midwest Valley Modelers layout. Do you remember
Yes, I
that?
do.
And it was
Yep.
Vic Smith that got us started on that whole subject.
Yeah.
And then we found that supplier out in Earth City, and the gentleman, very wealthy man, very distinguished individual, also was a model railroader. And his layout was just beautiful. Mahogany benchwork, for example. It was beautiful. I'm getting way off kilter here. Back to the spray booth. The whole point of the conversation is the ability to airbrush without dying from the fumes is a bonus. And so the problem in the basement down here is when we're shooting a show, or we're even just trying to have a conversation, or even watch videos on the television, you can't hear it because that spray booth motor is so audible. It's giving out a lot of sound. So I elected to pull it off the back of the spray wooden enclosure this week. I got clips of this. In fact, I made a What's Neat segment on it, and I moved the whole blower housing, built a box for it, put it outside, cemented it a couple of inches away from the basement window. Now, a long time ago, I had done this. I tried this for the same reasons. When we had that big, beautiful picture window in here that got destroyed by the storm.
Right.
And when that company came in here and put in that new window, that new whole window, I had them custom build a segment of the window
I forgot about that.
with a 6-inch hole in it. So that was a $7,000 window. I think it was another $1,500 to add the whole section, right? But it was worth it because I didn't have to go drilling through the cement wall. I didn't have to have the window partially open and cardboard in there. That's not a bad thing if you're just temporarily using the spray booth. But this is a fixture where it's set up for immediate use. The airbrushes are always there, the compressors here. It is so well designed that you can right now pull out an airbrush, and I can teach James Regier how to paint these John Deeres, which we are going to do that. So now, I have done this before. I'm showing, if I haven't already shown you, I've shown pictures of it previously outside. It was much higher mounted up, but it did work. It was functional. So now this week I built a new box for it. I put it outside, and yes, it's lower, it's more confined, it's redesigned because I've already done this before, so I knew the things I would change if I were to do it again. And it works beautifully. In fact, when Joshua walked in tonight, it was on, and he didn't even know it was on.
Yeah, I thought it was completely off. You cannot hear. I mean, it is so quiet now.
Now, in the interim of things, here's a how-to segment for this week's show. I know, this is what Lionel says. I start talking, right? I was at the Home Depot, and I found this wonderful little duct fan, 6-inch. It's essentially a bathroom fan, one of those small little motors. Super quiet. It sucks, or it blows 160 cubic feet of air per minute.
Wow.
That is just acceptable if you are airbrushing in your apartment, in your condo, or in your bedroom in your home. You don't have a full dedicated shop where you've got all the ventilation equipment built in, right? You're the guy where a cardboard box would simply make the perfect enclosure to capture the fumes, channel them into this little $39. This is perfect for the guy that wants to make a small spray booth that's adequate, okay? 160 feet, that's not really enough air to actually take a piece of paper and make it move on my spray enclosure because it's so big. It's 25 by 16 is a filter in my system. But for a smaller system, and I did this, I set something up and experimented with it to see its efficacy and see if it would work. And guess what? It did. So here's the answer for the guys that are wanting to make something quick over the weekend, cardboard box. Just tape it together with packing tape and make yourself a small enclosure for airbrushing for those projects. It works great with campaign too. So that's my tip for.
That's fantastic, especially for little bitty projects like boxcars and stuff like that.
Do you vent that, or does it capture the?
Steve, go over in the shop and grab it. I painted it blue. It's on the saw table over there.
Is it Jinx Blue? I'm just asking for a friend.
It's a really pretty blue color.
Okay.
White, yeah, Jinx blue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Jenks Blue.
It's Jinx Blue.
It's just really
Yeah,
pretty.
Yeah.
Now, the beauty of this thing is it just plugs in the wall. Now you can put a kill switch. That's okay. Just hold it up and show it. Our electrician here is going to show the.
Wait, are we
Very pretty.
I
wow?
don't have an outlet here.
Clear fan and everything.
Yeah, this is sweet. It's simple.
So it's strictly an on and off. There's not variable speeds or anything.
Well,
like
if you
that.
hook this up to a ceiling fan dimmer switch, because this is one of those simple ventilation motors, yeah, it'll variable speed. You could do that with this motor.
Sure.
There's no capacitors. It's a simple transformer with a fan on it. Is all it is.
Yeah, and instead of using a big filter, you can use some kind of cloth.
This is perfect, guys, for a simple airbrushing solution.
Yeah, that is definitely what's neat this week.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
Very
I
cool.
just, yeah. Okay. Go ahead and take it, Josh.
So, Mike, let's talk about these boxcars.
Okay. Yeah, these Railbox cars came about in the late 70s, and that was right around the time I started to regain my interest in model railroading. I had moved into an apartment right across the street from Mopac Main Line, and I was taking pictures all day long. I started noticing all these brightly colored boxcars, exterior post, and I didn't know it at the time, but that was the beginning of the incentive per diem era, IPD, where lease companies would lease these nice new boxcars to a lot of small branch lines and rail companies that would never otherwise have nice equipment, and they were able to charge higher rates that way. They would lease these cars, and they were able to charge higher shipping rates for the nicer cars. And so, anyway, the first bunch that I noticed were these bright yellow Railbox cars, and I tried to model the current, what I saw every day. I modeled the modern era up until around 2000, and that's when I did these models. By the year 2000, these models, these Railbox cars were 20 plus years old, and they were really getting aged, and then a lot of them were being sold off to other rail companies. But I was experimenting with ways to alter the arrows on the side, because that's the one thing I noticed on the Railbox cars that I saw. The way they weathered was the arrows faded, and then they exposed yellow, brighter yellow paint on them.
Yeah, that is super cool.
So the way I did that was I made my own decals, and this was in an article in Rail Model Journal, I think in 2000, February 2000 or something. But now they make decals like that, just like that, and I think Josh was saying you can even get cars pre-weathered like this now. So then this one here was also from 2000, and it was Railbox. By then, when they were repainting them, they went to a smaller font, I guess, to save money. And I called it kind of like their minimalist scheme, but that's when graffiti started up too. And the prototype photo that I took to build this car had that graffiti on it, so I painstakingly, painted that all with a brush to match the photo.
On both
Oh,
sides.
that's impressive.
No, just on the one side.
turn it
and
over.
Yeah, you
Turn
got
it
that
over
out
so
there.
we can see it.
This
Wait a minute.
is
Poor Richard needs to see
the
it.
decals.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
But
That is
this,
Good job.
this is what I did by hand here.
Nice work.
So that was the first time I ever did graffiti, and then that was also one of the things that made me decide to focus on 1978 instead, because I couldn't keep up with the way things were changing. At the rate I was modeling anyway. I still had Penn Central stuff that looked brand new, and I needed to focus on an era. So I have a bunch of these cars like this from the early 2000s that are appropriate for that era of modeling anyway. I guess you might even see them like this today. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But This is before I started using metal wheels. These still have the plastic wheels on them, so I wouldn't run them today.
Just change the wheels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice
Right.
work.
Yeah, that's very cool.
All right, so this week Joshua was. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm done.
I might do an edit right there. This week Joshua was talking to me on the phone, and he's going to take his roundhouse and make his doors open and close individually on the roundhouse. Okay, so we're talking switch machine technology, probably. And I just thought about something when I was staring at this hammerhead here from NCE. And I'm not, this is crazy. This is live. It's happening. They've got some really cool stuff on their website. And they are running ads I've seen in the model press about their switch machine controller device.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you get that thing, the NCE system, to control your doors?
I can.
I think that would work.
And that's one of the things. And then also Walthers has a same kind of thing.
Okay.
And it all uses the micro servos. And I have a couple different, about 8 years ago, I bought a whole package from Barrett Hill Shops. And it was a little Arduino-like board, and it had servos that go out, and that's how you switch your switches.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that system or a system like that and just use the 9-gram mini servos and attach those to the side of the beams, and that's what I'll work the doors open and close with. So
Yeah.
I have.
That was just a
And what
brain.
there's-
That just came to me. It just.
This was there was actually a series of articles in Model Railroad Hobbyists where Joe Fugate explained the process where he did a whole bunch of Arduino turnout motors using those micro servos. The reason being is that you can get about a dozen of them for the price of one tortoise machine.
Correct.
So that'd probably be the way to go to do that.
So you can go on Amazon or whatever. I think I bought 16 9-gram servos for $20-something.
Okay.
So I'm going to have 16 stalls in the roundhouse. So that way it's a little more, I'd have to reach in to open those doors or close the doors after the train. It's just another neat effect because I'm going to switch power on and off to it anyways, and I have to adjust the turntable. Might as well just have another switch to open the door.
You
And
got
I think
Wi-Fi
it's-
in your house?
I do.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you know where my brain just went? If we
Wait.
ever do a 0.5 show, a live show, like I keep toying with the idea now, let's do it at your house.
Okay.
Somebody's just got to hold the cell phone. We're probably going to use a tablet or a cell phone as a communication device to get the information to YouTube. I mean, don't get me wrong, this server's got that program in it where we can actually do it. We got a stream deck that Jennifer Kirk told me to buy. There's cameras hanging up all over the room down here. We just have never done it.
I think we can figure something out.
Live show.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Coming to you
All right, we
sooner
are being
or
rude
later.
to our special guest,
Yes.
Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Welcome. You just started coming here about a couple months ago.
Yeah.
How'd you find out about this ragtag group of folks?
Well, I met Daniel Coombs when he was working at Mark Twain,
Okay.
and that's kind of. And then I heard about your show, and I started watching it. I actually started from the first episode about 2 years ago, I guess.
Oh, you
and I've
poor
watched
thing.
it.
Yeah, everyone.
It's actually entertaining.
Man.
That was good.
You've been suffering, man. I tell you.
No, best hobby in the world.
That's how. And I remember you from a long time ago when you had the Midwest. I worked at Hobby Station back.
Oh
in the early
my
90s.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So that was
Yeah, I
his
used to
part-time
go in
job.
Did
there
you
all
tell
the
me that
time,
before?
too.
I think so. But
Yes, I used to spend a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
supposed to be
building
lit
that
too,
Midwest Valley Modeler's Layout was not a cheap endeavor. I remember the initial cost of that was $11,500 in 1988.
yeah, it's a lot of
And
money.
we
back
built
then.
it in a month.
It's a lot of money now.
Yeah, it was one
sure
real
is.
estate flip at the time. It was nice. It was okay. But rock and roll, welcome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to. The fact is, every model that you've brought here has been very finite. So you are a very, the word would be
Perfectionist.
Serious?
Yes.
all of the above.
All of the above.
And it's a breath of fresh air to run into somebody like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad to
So
be here.
now we put you on the hot seat.
That's
And you
right.
brought some beautiful models tonight.
So I've got this is a Rapido. It's an E8A, decorated in Wabash. That's the original paint scheme. which they call it the Bluebird. It's also called the 3-color. They had that paint scheme up through about 1961. In 61, they decided to start cutting costs, and then they started painting all their locomotives in this solid blue with the yellow stripes and the yellow logo. That one in the front, that is a Genesis F7A. Wabash had quite a few. They had, I think, 126 F7s.
Wow.
And as far as the E8s for the passenger service, they had, I believe, 14 of the E8s, and then they had PA1s and also E7s.
Wow.
But I model in the 1964 era, which is nice because I'll get a little variety because they had, even at 64, they still had some with the old paint scheme.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just kind of breaks up.
Nice.
So you don't have so much uniformity in there.
Now, are these both passenger or are they
The
locomotive?
F7s
That's
are freight. Now, that's
Okay.
one thing about the Wabash F7s. They ordered all those with passenger pilots on the front.
Yeah.
But they used them for freight service.
Okay.
And then obviously the E8s were passenger.
Then are you
That's
trying to collect
beautiful.
enough cars for a train or?
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm kind of what I call accumulation mode.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have a layout yet, but
Yeah.
I'm planning on a future layout. So.
I love that.
So you model 1969 Wabash.
64.
4.
64.
Yeah.
That was October specifically, and that's when the Norfolk and Western bought them out or merged with them.
Right.
So I'm doing like pre-merger.
Nice.
Very cool.
And at that point in time too, they had their largest variety of diesel locomotives too. So earlier in the year, they got GP35s, and then in '62 they got U25Bs. They had some Alco C424s, and trying to think of. Oh, and they had Alco FA1s.
Wow.
So got a lot of variety of.
I
motor
love
power.
his. He's knowledgeable.
Yeah, he's into
And
it.
he's got good sound. I like the sound coming
Yeah.
off that microphone
Absolutely.
tonight.
One that helps too. I belong to the Wabash Historical Society, which
yes.
is a great
Oh yeah.
source for.
Those historical
Information.
societies are great
Yeah.
resources.
And just a couple of years ago, I joined the Terminal Railroad Association too.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
I like
they've got Larry. I don't know if you know Larry Thomas, but he puts out some great publications for the TRRA.
Fantastic. So you're in accumulation mode now. Are there plans in the future to build a layout or?
Yeah, we're right now. Our kids are growing up, and they're starting to move out of the house. So we're in a 2-story, so I have limited basement space. So
You got 2 boys in college or 2 kids in college?
Nobody in college. I've got one that's moved out and married, and then I still have 3 at home yet. So we're going to downsize to a ranch, which I'll get a bigger basement.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Yes.
So I'm trying to work a deal where I can get the basement for a layout. So
When
Yeah,
when are you
right.
planning on making this?
probably within a year or 2.
So buy a big old basement with a house on top.
Right.
That's right.
That's
Or do like
right.
my younger son, he
Yeah.
wants to buy a barn dominium. So.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of those
There you
out
go.
there nowadays. So
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my gosh, the incubation possibilities. I'm just going to throw something out here because this is an argument that we've been having since you going to build an open grid bench work, do you think? Or are you going to
I'm
use
leaning towards
foam?
that. I'm leaning towards open grid. I can't talk. Open grid.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
and I've been watching, the show, and I've heard arguments both ways. You have the shrinkage with the foam. I like, if I was making something that's going to be portable, I'd probably use foam. So if it's going to be permanent, I'm going to use open grid. So.
Let me tell you, okay, I've been
I
working
agree
on
with
my
that.
layout, and I just love the fact that it's just flat. Obviously, I'm doing a yard and a city that is flat
Yeah.
for the most part, but it's so much nicer than drilling through the foam, and
Right.
Right.
it's just so easy and so pleasurable to
Right.
build on it. Let me
Yeah.
tell
And
you.
with the Wabash, it was mostly through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. So it's relatively flat, so there's
Right.
not really a lot of steep grades. So
And you-
it's perfect
you can
for-
still use
I can
foam
still-
as accents.
I can
you
still,
know.
right, and I can still make some slight grades and stuff.
Correct. Yeah. How fun.
Actually, the Wabash only had one tunnel on their line, and that was where the bridge crossing the Mississippi River.
At Hannibal?
At Hannibal. That's
That
the
swing
only-
bridge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be a swing bridge, now
Right,
it's a
now
lift
it's-
bridge. Now.
right.
Yeah, we have footage of us right there at that diamond where
Right.
it goes into
And
the.
I think the IC
cave.
crosses are right there in front of
Yes.
the bluff.
Yeah, and it
North
goes
side.
right into a tunnel then.
It was
Yeah.
really cool
Yeah.
until a train at 75 miles an hour comes by and you're 10 foot from it, you
Yeah.
know. You're like, we're ready to go now.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I look forward to what you're going to do, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I am too.
Do you have any ideas for what specific part of the Wabash? Or
I call it the triangle. It's from St. Louis, and then it branched off to Decatur on the east side, and then Moberly on the west side.
Oh, very
And then they had a line from Moberly to Decatur that ran through Hannibal.
okay.
And I'm going to try to incorporate those areas, maybe have detailed sections and then have like vignettes and then have it pass through like a hideaway and then you come into a different area. I don't know,
Very
that's just
cool.
kind of what's going through my mind now.
I mean, you
Yeah.
got a little time too,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I know I mulled mine over for almost a year before I
Yeah,
decided to.
the gears are turning. So.
Yes.
They have
Yeah.
a caboose in Moberly, don't they? A Wabash caboose?
Yeah, there's one in Moberly. There's one in Frontier Park in St. Charles.
Yeah.
They just repainted it this summer. And
Yeah.
then there's the one that my uncle restored that's at the Museum of Transportation. And they just repainted that one this summer.
Very
And
cool.
that station
Uh-huh.
is still there in Moberly too, isn't it? That big one?
The building is there.
Yeah. I
Or
mean,
at
it's
least,
not a station, but the building.
I was there in 2016 when Wabash had their annual meeting, and it was
Yeah.
still there at that time.
Yeah.
And then I've got a one-to-one scale modeling project at our farm. We've got a Wabash caboose down there, so that's going to be another
Wow,
retirement.
man, you're into every
Yeah.
scale.
Yeah.
Mostly each of it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, all that stuff going on out in the Great Smoky Mountains this week from that storm that
yeah.
came through last Saturday at 10 o'clock when it made landfall in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just appears from I've been doing the satellite Google Earth of the area so I could understand the topography better in my mind. Because through all the narrow gauge modeling that I did, what they went through out in the mountains out there, building the railroads right up the valleys,
Yeah,
right next to
yeah.
the rivers. Well, that's what Norfolk Southern has done in this part of the country. I mean, that's where all the railroads are going
Right.
to
Right.
get up and down the grades.
Right.
And those railroad tracks are just washed out, just like any time we've ever seen
Yeah.
it before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know that a lot of our friends live out there, and our heart goes out to them. And we hope everyone all the best. I know that David at Tangent, they still don't have electricity or Wi-Fi as of this week. I know that Scale Trains has
yeah.
suffered a
Down in
blow as
Tennessee,
well.
yeah.
So, yeah, our heart goes out to everybody, and we hope the best for everybody.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, James, what do you got going on with the John Deeres? Because it looks like you are slowly continuing to evolve.
Yes.
Well, so I'm trying to think if I might be done evolving with this particular project. It's just, I had the grain head here a couple weeks ago, and then I thought I'd make a corn head, so I made an 8-row.
Nice.
Well, then someone wanted a 4-row corn head, so
Very nice.
did 4-row. And then someone pointed out that, probably during the 1960s on up through the 90s, that a 36-inch center was probably more common for rows than the 30-inch center. So I did a 4-row with a 30-inch center and a 3-row with 30-inch center. And just for good measure, I did a pickup head here on this combine over here.
What's a pickup head?
So this was commonly used in northern areas, like in the southern Manitoba, southern parts of Canada,
Yes.
where the wheat becomes ripe in August, and you're already sort of starting to battle cool nights and even bouts of frost going on into early September. And so at the beginning stages of ripening, it doesn't ripen evenly. So the solution was actually swath the crops like they do just as if they were going to haul it to a threshing machine. And then they'd have this, a pickup header like this one, essentially a conveyor belt with little studs on it.
Yes.
That would then
Falls
pick
into
up
there.
the windrows, put it through the combine, and they would harvest it. That once it was swathed, it would ripen more evenly and more quickly.
Okay.
I see you got loads too.
Yeah.
The
So
crane and what-
yeah, this is folded sandpaper is what it is.
Oh,
And
that's
it
a
fit,
great
It fit the
idea.
bill pretty well.
Nice.
And so yeah, these heads are all available. I think I lost my head on that.
You got to get a website.
project,
You're
yeah.
using Facebook right now, right?
Yeah, I'm using Facebook right
You need a
now.
website.
Yeah, you
it's
need
so
a
simple.
.com.
Just
Yeah.
we could. You, yeah.
I'll get around to it some. But yeah, and then here next I think next Monday starts Fire Prevention Week. Or at least I remember in grade school that, throughout the month of October, that was Fire Prevention Month. And in kindergarten, I remember we went on a tour of the Haven Fire Department. And they had this ancient fire truck there, first generation vehicle.
I believe it's an apparatus.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
Campbell.
Apparatus, yes. And so I thought, well, I've already designed this apparatus based on one in Midlothian, Texas, and I thought, well, I might as well put that one on the Facebook page, make it available.
Very
So this
cool.
is I've really simplified the construction. It's 4 pieces. So the chassis here, the body, the ladder, and the bell, and aside from the bell, no glue necessary for assembly.
Good job.
Nice.
And then I also have this Roadster here.
Very cool.
Everything clips together except for the spare tire.
Nice.
And there's a pickup truck coming up, but yeah,
So if
What are those Fords or?
That's a Model
those
A,
are
isn't it?
those are loosely based off of Model Ts.
Oh, Model
nice.
T.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Nice work.
So
Very
if
nice.
somebody wants to buy one of these, where can they go find you right now?
Yeah, it's James Regier's Models on Facebook. I'll sometimes comment. In fact, my YouTube handle right now is James Regier's Models, so just look for that on Facebook.
Okay.
Or that's also, I've set up a Gmail account for that as well.
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
At the RPM meet, I wanted to say this 2 shows ago. This is where I blanked out at the end of the show. Now it's in my head. I remember 2 weeks later. Isn't that weird?
Senility.
Over and over again, those gentlemen that we would interview that have all the 3D printed models. I mean, the one guy said he made the Combine. I made that in 4 days.
Yep.
It's like, wow, okay. They claim that if you supply them with a photograph, that they can print anything off of a photograph. Are you starting to discover you can do that?
Well, and as a matter of fact, if I have photographs in several different angles and at least a few dimensions,
Yes.
then I can work from that pretty well.
Nice.
So
All right, here's my challenge I threw out to you guys.
Dun, dun,
The
dun,
gentlemen
dun.
out there that say they can. I love Ford Excursions. Remember the great big Ford you could fit stuff into because it was big? So I've had mine for 20 years now. It's brown. She's lifted up 4 inches, and she's my baby. I love that truck. I want a model of it. I just want a model of it. With the windows
Clear.
not solid,
Right.
but so I could
Open.
maybe see the inside interior. I mean, I could put in Scotch tape windows and tint them using the Mike's method, but I would love to have a model of my truck. And of course, if you send me an invoice, I'll pay for it. But it's a 2003 Ford Excursion.
Lift it up 4 inches.
Yeah, it's got a 4-inch lift on it and some nice tires, so it just has a nice look to
What
it.
kind of wheels?
Right now, it's got
wheels, or-
I put the factory wheels back on it right now.
Okay.
So I don't know what photograph I just showed of the truck, but it's got factory Ford, the smaller rims on it, which looks better because the tires look fatter.
Yeah.
I love the look of that truck. I love the way it drives.
yeah.
So yeah, I was
Yeah, it'd be
talking
nice.
to. I know, right? I was talking
Derek
to Derek
Sampson.
Sampson at Value Trains, who
Yes.
makes our box cars.
Yeah.
And his primary job is those shows that you see on TV where you're doing a complete restoration, like you have a restoration, and you've got your Chevelle. And I told him, a diesel motor in my Excursion, let's lift it up to 6 inches, drop some bigger tires on it, let's do an interior, let's put a computer system in it. He's like, oh, hold on, man, you already passed 65,000.
Right. No,
And I'm like, whoa!
There was a dealer That actually, and this was a John Deere dealer that took a Ford truck and actually put a John Deere tractor motor in that truck.
Nice.
And, you know, geared properly and all that, that thing hauled.
Yeah. Derek Sampson is amazing. I know that he's been to SEMA a few times with his vehicles.
Yes.
He could put a Coyote engine in there, and I mean, you'd be off to the
The most
races.
expensive vehicles. He's like if a dealership has a Corvette that's got a mess up on the paintwork, and I'm talking about over a $100,000 car, right? He has no problem. Just send it to him. I was like, I would be scared to death to do that job. But that's how we are when we get a brand new locomotive and we're supposed to sandblast it and paint it or weather it. We're scared to death. It's that fear. But the one thing he does do for us is makes our box cars. And the What's Neat This Week box car in brown has been selling quite successfully. Everybody likes the concept.
Yeah, very cool.
So I've talked to him, and I was supposed to send him this week and didn't. The ideas for a yellow car, UP red letters, same kind of motif, and also blue to have some varieties.
Nice.
I'm getting some
Jake's
weird
blue?
background noise. You hear that?
No, I
That's
don't
fine.
have
I'm going to take these off and I won't hear it.
Yeah, you know, you should do
Well,
one.
I've been monitoring sound.
You should do one in Jenks blue.
He likes to listen.
Okay, that's not
Since
a bad color.
since we got the Mopac buzzsaws already.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, listen to his idea. That was a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you showed up tonight.
Yeah.
We have to take a picture of all of us
Yes.
for the next ad in Model Railroader magazine.
God help us
We
all.
have 2 more left to do, January and February. The December ad, here it is on the screen in the flesh.
Yay! I love Christmas.
Oh, look at
Yay.
the gas station with Santa Claus. I love this photograph right on the cover of Mainline
Look,
Modelers.
and there's our QR code right at the bottom.
Yeah, thank you, Bachman.
Yes.
You guys did a great job on that.
Yep.
We were talking about tonight, the fact is this is show number 290, and we're starting to guesstimate when 300 is going to be because there's a lot of people that have contacted me, maybe 5, and said they want to come to St. Louis and be here for show number 300.
Yeah.
Because it will be sort of a special event because we're going to make it that way.
We should get an elephant.
Oh, look, there's Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
So we're guesstimating, and I got to look at this. You know, we do the first 1, 2, 3, 4 Saturdays of the month,
Yep.
depending upon if there's 4 weeks or 5 weeks in the month. What am I trying to say? One Saturday every month we take off so I can get the What's Neat show
He's
done.
trying to figure out when it falls.
We're thinking it might fall around January, the first week of January. 4th?
Really?
Yeah. Right after New Year's.
Seems a long time away.
Let's
So it's going to be cold, it'll be
Let's
winter.
have a New Year's show.
Let's let Daniel come in.
I know, let Daniel come
Yeah.
in.
Come on, Daniel.
So anyway,
Come on
that's
in.
it. I think we're going to round out this show. We've covered
right.
everything.
Yep.
Chris, thank you
Hold
very
on,
much.
hold on.
Oh,
Yes.
Steve, what's going on?
Can I have just a minute?
Yes,
Steve Mantilla.
come this way.
I'm going to come
Yeah.
over here. Put them over here.
All right.
Oh, Glenda.
Halloween stuff.
All right.
You brought cookies?
I brought cookies. Tomorrow, October 6th, my wife will turn 60 years old.
Oh,
Okay.
Glenda.
I am.
Happy
This is
birthday.
my favorite time of the year. It's fall time.
yeah.
She bought a new locomotive today.
Hey, Daniel.
Crashing the
Hey,
show, guys. What's
baby.
up? So I brought some
Hey.
cookies for everybody, and then I brought the little witch to go on the table.
Very
also.
nice.
So
Well, thank you
I just
very
wanted
much.
to wish my wife a happy birthday tomorrow.
Aw, happy birthday,
Great.
Glenda.
Glenda.
Thank you for watching. We love you.
Oh my God, I want those
Yeah.
cookies. Look how
I know.
shiny they are in the
Let's
lights.
finish
Very
up.
nice cookies, yes.
Chris,
Okay,
thank
let's
you
wrap
for
up the
coming
show.
on the. Thank you for coming on the show. We
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
You're
Thanks for
very
having me.
knowledgeable, and we hope you come back.
I will,
And we didn't
absolutely.
Yeah, we're not going to
you
scare them
off.
off.
As
Yes.
long as I'm invited, I'll be
Yes.
back.
Everybody remember, if you're watching YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell to notify us. Check us out on Facebook. Check out what'sneat.com and check out all our old episodes. I know that Chris started watching from the very first episode.
He just admitted that tonight.
Jeez, that's a lot to intake. So, little Daniel when he was young. So check us out for all those old shows. And
Best hobby in the world with some of the best
Absolutely.
people in it. It says that right on top of the December ad. The
Yep.
best hobby in the world. I've always wanted to put that in print in the model industry. Oh my goodness gracious. This is awesome. Guys, let's go run some trains.
Well,
all right, everybody needs to grab a cookie.
Yes.
Oh my
the,
God, look at those cookies.
Yeah,
delicious.
that's the thumbnail is cookies.
Okay, let roll 45 seconds on camera number 1. I need a thumbnail.
I know. Let's eat cookies.
Okay, well,
on the thumbnail.
go ahead,
damn it.
open them up.
Yeah.
Got 'em
Oh
open.
my God. Okay, I can't eat the throttle.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Never. Cameraman will just get half.
So we're holding up cookies?
Hold the
Yeah.
cookies.
Oh, it's Halloween. All right.
It is.
Hey, it's the moon.
Everybody got a cookie, Mike?
Okay, ready,
hold
set.
on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, Mike needs a cookie.
They hate it when we eat on the show.
We're not going to eat.
We're
We're
not
holding up.
gonna-
All right, ready?
I don't know what I'm holding. And show some teeth. All right.
All right. Now I'm going to eat my cookie.
I am too.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice locomotives.
Thank you.
Great show, guys. I'd say more, but I got a cookie in my face.
I know, Lionel. Same you're not here. We have extras.
Good cookie. See?
Good cookie and a great
Oh,
show.
we need a picture of all of us together for the January advertisement.
So where do you want to do it?
No, where's the girlfriend?
Where's the girlfriend?
She had to go home.